Hey you guys, this is your girl Ish. I am finally here with another video to post on here, and I know it's been forever since I've posted another video on here, and I apologize about that. Like I said, I've been working out so much, trying to maintain my weight, and I've been working at the time. And then now that I have the free time and I don't work anymore, so yeah, I want to kind of hop on here and say, I need to make another video. So in this video, I do want to share with you guys on my experience going to MEPS. So as I'm browsing through my phone, if you see me looking down, but the physical examination you have to, do once you go to MEPS, or, you do your test there. But like I said, in this video, I want to share with you guys on my experience at going to MEPS with the physical part. So I know with the physical examination, what it consists of, you getting your height and weight measured. You do a hearing and vision examination. You do a urine and blood test, drug and alcohol test. You do like an examination of, they check like your bones, your muscles, stuff like that. Then you do like a complete physical examination and you go like through an interview. And I think that's once you're good, I think you like pick your job or something like that or whatnot after you get done with your physical. And then a specialized test if it's required. So, but yeah, I'm going to pretty much tag what I did when I went to MEPS, and I also had to go back and do an inspection. So I'm going to combine those two together. And I know you guys are probably like, what is an inspection? So I actually took my physical twice. And the reason why, because I did my actual physical with the Army branch, and then I did my inspection with the Air Force. So I want to say back in April 28th of this year, I went down to MEPS to go do my physical, and this was with the Army branch. So once once they dropped us off at the hotel and everything, you kind of like stay overnight, and you get to meet other people, but due to COVID, they kind of want everybody, locked up in their room, make sure they're not, roaming around in the hotel and stuff like that. But people are not going to really pay attention. But of course, we had to be in our room at a certain time at night. They didn't want us to lay around. So, you stay in your room or whatnot. Then the next day, we get up, and I want to say maybe 4:30, but I set my alarm at 4 o'clock because I know how I am. Like, I will drag my feet when getting up. So I set my alarm at 4 o'clock, got up, and when I got up, went downstairs or whatever, went down in the lobby, went to go get some breakfast. Yeah, of course, you had to take it to go because they wouldn't allow people to eat like in the lobby due to COVID-19. So, once we got our food and took it back on the bus and everything, kind of eat on the bus if, whatever. And then once we arrived to the MEP station, you kind of get off the bus, and then you have like two people come out there and they're just yelling and screaming like early in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning. And you're looking like, and I felt bad for some people because they're like not morning people. And I'm an early bird myself, so it really didn't bother me. But you got people like barely like up, and somebody just come and just yells at them after the game. And so they would tell people to line up in a single file line if you're going in, the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, whatever. And like I said at the time, I took my ASVAB test with the Army branch. And in April, I went to go take my physical, with the Army branch. So everybody stood in a single file line. I'm in the Army line and everything. So once they have us all lined up in a single file line, then you go into this building under a detector thing to make sure you don't have any jewelry on or whatnot, like necklace, earrings, whatever that will alarm off, you will have to take off, and belt too. So, because it's metal. So once you get past through that, you're standing above, a sign where they have the room where you have to put your stuff in, like your bags and stuff. So you put that in the room, then you go back to the person at the desk, and you'll tell them what you're doing. So they have you sitting in the lobby or whatever they have you waiting on for. So once you are waiting a long time. It's no joke. Like the waiting time, oh my gosh. I thought about, I was like, why in the world I'm here? Like, seriously, does it take that long to get stuff rolling? But like I said, it's early in the morning. They try to, turn things on, and, whatever they have to do, turn the computer, the system on, whatever they have to do, they have to get all that ready to be able to start the day. So, once I got there and everything, let me see if I can put my phone up. So, of course, they're going to check your height and weight, like I said in the beginning. So, got on the scale, whatnot. They checked my weight. They checked my height. Okay, got that out the way. So, you're sitting in the room with a bunch of females with bra and panties. Bra and panties. And what I did when I went, I had on a white bra and white panties. So you can wear like grandma panties. That's what I did. I felt safer doing that. And please do not go there with a blue bra and orange bottoms. Don't do that. Don't do that. But like I said, when I went, there were girls there. They had on not even matching bra and panties. They didn't, to be honest with you. They did not. So I made sure that I followed the procedure, because I didn't want to get yelled at. And like I said, this was my first time going to MEPS. So you're sitting there and you're waiting, and you're like, oh boy. So then they move you on, and you put your clothes back on. And then, before that, so they measure you around your waist. Y'all, that was so aggravating. I'm not going to tell you no lie. They kept measuring me around my waist like so many times. Then I had this nurse, and she just yelled at me, and she said, "I'm ready for you to stop sucking your stomach in." And I'm like, I'm not even sucking my stomach in. I'm like, this is my actual stomach. Like, I'm not sucking like my gut in. I'm not. Like, it was so nerve-wracking. So then they have to measure around your neck, and then they measure, up here. Again, like up here, they measure up here, and then they measure around your hips. So they're measuring like 3 different spots. So, that's one nurse that's doing. Then they may have 2 more other people, other nurse, female nurse. They'll do it again too, just to go behind the first nurse, female nurse. So I had like maybe 3 or 4 people like was retaping me. Oh my God, y'all. And I'm like, does it really take about 3 or 4 like ladies to like tape me around my neck, under my my waist, and in my hips? Like, is this necessary? But I just remained quiet, just did like what they told me to do. And you put your clothes back on. So once that was done, they put all kind of paperwork, documentation down. They run it through, the computer and everything, keep everything locked up in the computer. So that was it pretty much for me. And then the hearing and vision examination, the hearing part, you're going into this room, and they have like maybe 1, 2, 3, I think like maybe 4 or 5 different, stations that they have in this little box. So, and they kind of have like a curtain where you can pull the curtain back. So that way you won't hear anybody else that's next to you thing going off when you have it on the headset. So the lady, she'll tell you, if you, once you make sure you're paying close attention on, the beeping noise, whether if you hear it on the right or left ear or whatnot. So I won't say if you fail, but if you didn't pass, they could probably say, oh, okay, well, you may need to go get, one of your ears checked out or both of your ears checked out, because how do you fail, So, I was watching one female, her YouTube channel, and I kind of took this in consideration. And in her video, I remember she said something about, to listen, once you got the headset on, count to 3. So we'll be like 1, 2, 3, click, 1, 2, 3, click, 1, 2, 3, click. So it's like a constant thing. So I kept doing it. I kept saying 1, 2, 3. Even when I didn't hear it, I just kept doing a 1, 2, 3. Because sometimes the noise, it will go higher, then it would go like a low pitch, then it would go like a medium, then it would go like real low. I'm like, this thing is playing games with me. So I just did that. I just followed that step. And for some reason, I guess I did good. And then, let me see. The vision, y'all know I'm like, I can't see worth of nothing. I'm blind as a bat. So, of course, right now I'm wearing contact lens, but I do wear prescription glasses as well. So, of course, oh, by the way, for you people who wear contacts, your recruiter most likely going to tell you to go there and with glasses on, your prescription glasses. But carry your contact lens case in your pocket. And that's what I did. I had my contact lens case in my pocket. So in case if they ask for it. So you go, you peep through this thing here. And so like you would do at a regular eye doctor or whatnot. So they had to like make sure if you see anything, like pictures or funny, weird pictures, or whether if you can see out of one eye from another eye or both eyes. And then they're going to do like the color vision test. Y'all, I really hated that lady that day when she did the color vision test for me. So what that is kind of like you're looking, she's flipping through the pages really fast, but you got to be able to know the number, like, to be able to pass that. And right then and there, I wanted to be like, ooh, like, why were you doing that? Like, I'm trying to pass everything here, and you're just trying to mess it up for me. So, she was flipping through the page, and I was saying the number fast, and I'm like, phew. And she was like, okay, you did good. And I was like, yes. Because it had scared me a little bit. I'm like, you can't be flipping through those pages real fast like that. That's not right. But, of course, I don't know. They want to see people get disqualified for some reason. I don't know. That's why I thought in the back of my head. But once I was completed with that, then I had to read a out loud scripture or something like that. And it was probably no more than like 10 sentences or something like that. I had to kind of, read over. And it was something simple and basic. And they just want to see if you know how to pronounce words a certain way. When to pause, when, you see like a complete sentence and stuff like that. So that's all that was. And then, let me see. So that went by pretty good for me. The urine and blood test. So, and, oh, by the way, keep in mind, you guys, I don't remember in order how they went when I got there. But, like I said, I'm just kind of just giving you guys the basis on my experience, how it went for me. So, like I said, I know I may not be going in order, but I'm just giving you guys the details on, for each, evaluations, what I had to do during that process. So for the urine and blood test, so let me tell you about the urine test, you guys. So we kind of like stood in a single file line. And of course, they separate for the females and the males or whatnot. So I stood in a single file line and was like, they allow like 2, females come in at the time. So the nurse, she was standing right there and she was like, okay, ladies, I'm going to give you a cup. Write your name down on a cup and everything. Start writing my name down on a cup or whatnot. So the whole process, I was so nervous, y'all. Like I said, I was very nervous. And I told her, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't use like the bathroom. Like I have to, like, I can't really pee. So she was like, what do you mean you can't pee? And I was like, well, she was like, well, go and drink some water or whatever and then come right back. So I drank some water or whatnot and kind of kept drinking water after, I don't know how many cups that I, was drinking. So finally it was ready for me to use the bathroom. So they have 2 different stalls in there, right? So you get a door, so you can shut the door. So evidently I, must have shut the door and tried to lock it. And she was like, you can't do that. And I'm like, why not? And she was like, you have to leave the door open for me to see you, pee. And I'm like, why do you want to look at me like while I'm peeing? And she was like, well, ma'am, I'm just following the, procedures. This is my job, and this is how I'm gonna have to do it. So you're gonna have to leave the door open for me to see you use the bathroom, pee in the cup. So this lady stood right there while I literally had to squat, making sure my tail don't sit on that toilet, on the seat toilet. And I like had to pee so bad, like I was afraid it was gonna overflow from out of the cup. So she was like, "You're done?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I'm done." It was the most uncomfortable thing ever. Like, I'm not gonna tell you no lie, you guys. It was the most uncomfortable thing. So once I was done with that, they test your urine test right then and there to see if you're pregnant or anything. So everything turned out fine from that part. And let me see, then they check for your muscles and joints and stuff like that. That was, part of the physical as well. Well, we had to go back in the room where the doctor was. So he'll have you doing a couple of exercises. And keep in mind, you're in your bra and panties. That's it pretty much. And I think at the time I had maybe, including myself, and maybe 5 or 6 more other females in the room with me. And we were doing little exercises, do an arm rotation, forward and backward. You had to kind of bend down so the doctor can, feel your spine and make sure you don't have scoliosis. I know you had to do a couple of movements to make sure that you're okay. Also, you had to check in your hand to see if you don't have like any thing going on with the palm of your hand, or on like pretty much your front and back of your hand. Trying to figure out something else. Also, you had to do the duck walk. So they let you they let you listen to this they let you watch, Jesus Christ. They let you watch this video that's on there that you'll watch for a couple of minutes or so, and it shows you how to do the duck walk. Y'all keep in mind, I don't know why everybody exaggerates about the duck walk. Don't get me wrong, I was a little nervous about it too, because I'm like, well, what if I don't do this right? Is this going to disqualify me for the whole thing? So yeah. So y'all, when I got down to do the duck walk, y'all, all I heard, my bones were like they were clacking. And I was like, oh God, this is not good. Like, I know the doctor heard that, and this ain't good, y'all. So I was trying to do a certain way, and I was just wobbling. Next thing, you had to turn back around and do it again. And then the doctor would say, oh, okay, you're good. So like I said, the duck walk was not bad at all. It's just what people make out of it. So like I said, if you guys are preparing to go to MEPS to do your physical, don't freak out about the duck walk, because it's not that bad, Or I guess it just depends on the kind of doctor you have. But it's not that bad at all for me. And it was my first time doing it. So let me see another thing too. Also, you'll go in another room. You'll lay on this bed to where a doctor and a nurse will come in there, and they'll ask you some personal questions, like make sure you didn't you had any surgeries, have you had a miscarriage, have you been pregnant, do you have ADHD, all those kind of crazy stuff, And by the way, you guys, let me tell you what, y'all better be very honest when it comes to that situation. Here's the thing where people mess up. I understand your recruiter would tell you anything to say, okay, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Whatever medical paperwork that you have, documented, whatever, please give it to the recruiter, because you do not want to go at MEPS, and I get it. You forget to add it until, to give it to your recruiter. And then when you go to MEPS, and then when the doctor asks you about it, then you're like, yeah, well, see, what happened was 2 years ago I had this kind of surgery. That will literally like screw you up big time. And that is a red flag, and that will disqualify you like ASAP out the door. So please, you guys, do not mess up on that. Like I said, if you had surgeries, whether if it's you're getting your wisdom tooth removed, or whether if, for people like had C-section, or some kind of, I don't know, had to get a cyst removed, or whatever you had, whatever kind of surgery you had to do, please go to the doctor, hospital, whatever, and get that paperwork, so that way you can have on file, so that way you can cover your tail when you go to MEPS. Okay. So, but anywho, so the doctor, he'll come and take a look, your ear, he'll take a look at your eyes. He'll kind of look in the back of your throat, and, gee whiz. So actually that day when I was laying on the table, and it was a female nurse in there too. If I could remember, they, checked down there, and that was the most unpleasant thing ever. And I was kind of like, I got like people looking underneath my clothes. Like, that's very uncomfortable. But think about it, a lot of you females, when you go, to the clinic, you have to get like a pap smear done or anything, like, they're going to check underneath your clothes regardless of what, So, I wasn't that nervous, but it was kind of like very uncomfortable situation. So I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna let them do their thing, so I can go ahead and, go get through this and wrap it up and see what all they say. So, yeah. So once I got done with that, pretty much you'll go back in the same room where you had to do, like exercises and do the duck walk and all the stuff. You'll go back into that other room, like right next. There's a door here. I don't know how other MEPS are, but it was a door here with the waiting room where the doctor, talk to you or whatever, and the nurse, and then you go out here, and then they got this other big room, where they do your weight